And in this video, we're going to be looking at APIs. We're going to look at how to create APIs and how to actually use API. So let's just go ahead and start. And if you notice, we have this blog post and we have these users, we have the relationship between the blogs and the users. So we can actually leverage on this and actually use them in our blog, in our API. So for our API, we're going to be building an API for the users, and we're also going to be building an API for the post. And there is already a relationship between the users and the post, so we can leverage on this and actually get things on the fast track. So let's just get started and doing this. Now, for this demonstration, I'm going to be using Postman because we're building APIs. So I'm going to be using Postman. So just go ahead and install Postman. I will leave a link to Postman in the description. So let's just get that. So let's just get started, guys. Now the first thing we need to do is actually to install a package called Laravel Phantom. And if you install your Laravel using any of the method I've showed you, this package comes with Laravel by default. So if you check your composer.json, you're going to find this package right here, Laravel Phantom. And if you come over to your modules and right here in your users, you see that your user already has an API token, and this API token is coming from Laravel Phantom. Now, if you want to use another package that Laravel provides, which is much more wider, and that's the Laravel Passport, just go ahead and install Laravel Passport, and you have to actually import it and do some configuration. But for this video, we're going to be keeping it very simple. We're going to be using Laravel Startup. So let's just get started and see how that works. Now, if you come over to our routes, and right here in the API, you can see we have this uh, API route here that returns the authenticated user. So we're not going to be using this. We're not going to be using any of this for now. Let's just go ahead and remove this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create an API controller, and this controller will be the user controller for the API. And if you remember, in our HTTP controller, we have the home controller, the post controller. So we're going to create the API controller. Let's just go over ahead and to our terminal, and let's just say PHP artisan make controller, and this will be user controller. Now we want to have this controller in a folder, so we want to call the folder API. So we're going to do something like this, and right here we give it API to specify we want this API to be uh, an this controller to be an API controller. Let's just click enter, and that has created our controller. Now if you check your controller, we have this folder now, and within this folder we have the user controller, which is now an API controller. Now in our route, so right here we can do a simple route get method, and this method will get the list of all the users in your application. So let's just do users, and this will be an array. Why we want to use the user controller that we just created, you can see this as import the controller for us, and right here we want to use the class, and we want to use the index method. Now what the index method is just going to do is return all the users. So let's just go ahead and do that. So this will be users, and this will be latest, and this will be get. And right here we're going to return a response, and this will be a JSON response. So we might decide to return a status, and this will be true. And right here we can now return the users. So this will be users. This should be a string, and this will be users. So hopefully this makes sense to you. Let's just import this user class. So that's all we need to do. And whenever we make a request to this route, now we're going to get the list of all the users. So let's do this from our Postman. So this will be users. Let's just go ahead and do this. This will be a get request. You can see we're getting some errors right here, and this will be a get request. Let's try this now. You can see we get the list of all the users right here. So we have about 3 users. You can see all the users right here. And the next thing we can actually do now is to actually send the users with their post. So if you remember, we have a relationship between our users and post. Let me just show you guys. So this is it. So we can now send the users with the post that these users has already created. So to do that, we can say with, and this will be post. So hopefully this makes sense to you. So let's just go ahead and send this request again. So you can see the post of this user right now. You can see their post. Now if this user has more than one post, I think we have a user that has more than one post right here. Yeah. So this user has more than one post. You can see it's output all the user's post. So this is like a way where you can just interact with your application using the API. So for this video now, in the next video, I'm going to show you how to actually create a user using your API. So I'll see you in the next video for that.